Code switching, what is it? Is it binary, computer? No. In this case, we're talking about language. And code switching is a phenomenon found with multilingual and bilingual people where they use one pathway of verbal communication with two systems known as languages. This can be seen if you say, I forgot my backpack. You forget the word for backpack. You speak Spanish. You say mochila. Your sentence is, I forgot my mochila. That is an example of simplistic code switching, and it is common. But we're going to talk about it by instructors in classrooms. Code switching by instructors from a target language to a community language will lower student language comprehension. That is the hypothesis for this study. How does increased community language affect that? And we're going to be answering the question of what is the outcome of code switching in regards to classroom management and instruction for professors and students. This can be seen in Parks and Cortez's research study of teachers' perceptions of code switching in classrooms, where they say that almost all, about 4 out of 6 of their teachers that they evaluated have stated that they use more community language for classroom management. Classroom management is important. You need to cover certain course material to stay accredited or to get through the curriculum stated by the institution or district. This experiment will use the Solomon 4 method. We're going to be using entry-level freshman class students that are taking entry-level or level 1 classes. 2 of the 4 classes will be taking a pretest. This will also ensure the validity of prior knowledge. We don't want them to have prior knowledge of a language. We want to take someone who's fresh to learning a language with no heritage knowledge, but this will also be used to compare pretest and post-test scores, as Professors A and Professor B will each have 1 pretest class. They will be teaching 2 classes. One of their classes will have 25% allowed English or community language, and one of them will allow less than 1% of community language, in this case English, spoken, as we are covering Point Loma Nazarene University freshman entry-level foreign language classes. The language is not chosen yet, as we do need to find those professors, and this will also allow their coursework and their needed accreditation material work flexibility. The professors will need to have identical lesson plans, course material, and unit time period. Typically, units are 1 to 2 weeks. We're going to be covering 2 units, so we have more data to compare. The data that we are collecting are test scores from post-tests after they have their target language exposure. We're going to be testing syntax, vocabulary, sentence structure, grammar, and as well as course material, as we have previously stated with Cortez and Parks about classroom management, which was also found in Todor and Deji's study in Hungary and Romanian classrooms between those 2 languages, where they needed classroom management. Each section of the test will be average. We will have an overall average compare bar graph for all 4 classes. We will have a pretest protest bar graph where we take both of those classes. We're going to compare the averages of every single section across all 4, where we can see trends of increased knowledge, increased test scores, and we're also going to have a bar graph with blank questions, which students are encouraged to answer if they do not know or that material has not been covered. This will ensure that we know what fault of classroom management and material coverage happens, and at what risk that poses to language comprehension. These scores will be compared, analyzed, and we do have an intended increase for those who do have 99% target language exposure.